So yesterday it started snowing. We had the first snow of the year start yesterday. And it didn't accumulate at all. But it continued to snow overnight, obviously. Because this is what we woke up to. And this is way more than was forecast. The sky is just like non-existent, and over there in particular, just above the trees, you can see it's dark. It's definitely snowing heavy over the lake. But yeah, this was a surprise. We've got 4 or 5 inches overnight. And we've been prepping the farm for it. There's still a few things we gotta do. Probably the biggest today is down there by the barn. Right over there in that nook. Right there. We're gonna put up a big water trough and get a heater in it so it doesn't ice over. So the goats and Nellie can drink anytime. But my goodness, is this ever pretty. I don't know how well it's showing up on video here. Look at that. Last year we didn't really have enough snow for snowshoeing, but it looks like this year we'll get a lot of that in. We were just talking about going out into the woods last night to get our Christmas tree. And it's not terribly cold out. It's quite decent. Man, is this pretty. I like it. Maybe not for driving in, but if you're just hanging out at home, it's not bad. That's a good indicator there how much snow we got. But we were left in a little bit of a scramble this morning. So usually a first snow of the season is like yesterday. It doesn't really accumulate, it goes away, and you got some time to really prep before things get like this. So my husband was scrambling this morning, couldn't remember where he left his winter boots, couldn't remember where my son's snow pants were. Yeah, a bit of a scramble this morning. So we're not used to this for a first snow. This is different. We got another pile of hay that we just put down over there. My dad's still puttering around with the tractor, bringing hay to everyone. The kids have their hay bale there, but they're not up yet. Wasn't nice, Nellie. Of course, some of these animals could go to the other pile. And I probably say it every year, but it's worth saying for people who are new or haven't heard it or have forgotten. Hay is so vitally important in the winter to ruminant animals, so cows, goats, sheep, things that have multiple stomachs and chew the cud. Their stomach is the big part of them. The majority of their innards, actually. And what happens in there is that hay, they can't really digest it. It's bacteria that live in their gut that digest it. And as those bacteria are working away at that hay, it's fermenting and it's causing heat. So feeding your animals hay in the winter is like fueling their furnace, and it warms them up from the inside out. Because that rumen, where the fermentation happens, will expand and take up, goodness, about a quarter of their body. And that's just their internal furnace. And you have to fuel it to keep them warm in the winter. A lot of people think that goats can't do well up in conditions like this. I've seen people on YouTube with goat herds up in Alaska. There's a few things that they need. They need water that's not frozen, so they can stay hydrated. They need hay to fuel their furnace. They need a place where they can get out of the wind and have a roof over their heads. And they need buddies to snuggle with. And if they've got all these things, they're going to be just fine. Now for poultry, you can fuel them and stoke their furnace and keep them warm from the inside out too, but it's not with hay, it's with corn. But it doesn't need to be a major part of their diet, just a bit. They still need the nutrition of other food, but a little bit of corn will fuel the furnace of the poultry, chickens, ducks, turkeys, all that. A little bit of corn goes a long way to keeping them toasty in the winter. I'm going to have to stock up on corn. I was asking my usual feed supplier, they don't carry it. I'm going to have to find some corn so I'm ready for the cold. Of course, poultry run hot. They run 104, 107, something like that. And they got all that down. And they will grow more down the colder it gets. But I should help too. I've got my milking stuff there. Get some of these girls milked. I'm just milking Sweetie, Tiny, and Millie right now. It was just yesterday that I went and got my insulated work gloves for farm chores. I probably said it already, I'll say it again. We weren't really expecting this. Well, these amounts are that'll stick around, but forecast says we're due for another 6-7 days of snow. Might be time to get the snowshoes out. There's the birds over there. And yes, the ducks and geese will still swim and splash in this weather. Doesn't matter how cold it gets, if they have open water, they will be swimming in it. I've got the girls milked. Millie's a smart one. Now Sweetie's over there too. A whole hay pile to themselves. Tiny's wondering if I want her again, but I don't. So yeah, this is our first snow of 2024 winter. That's a doozy for a first one.